is voting the only way to hold parties' feet hold feet to the fire? Don't we have to be involved in the party if we want to see the platform change? How do we get better candidates for office? I think all three of these questions, the connection here is calling. To what degree and what level of politics are Christians called in our context? Now, obviously, if we're Daniel or, the average non-citizen, Jewish captive in Babylon, you don't have nearly the opportunities that we have. We have a lot of opportunities, or all those opportunities, callings. And so I'm going to give you each just a minute or two to address the question of calling and maybe hit that. Is there something else we can do voting? Are we required to try to influence, the party, and how do we get more candidates?
I would start with, if you're not praying for a country, that would be the first thing that all of us can and should be doing. And that takes a lot of time and energy, especially if you're a mom and you've got kids, or you're a working anybody, a person, a dad that's got to travel all over the world, or even if you're just, busy like normal people are. I think that you got to go in the strength that you have, right? You've got to go in the strength that you have to do the things that God has called you to be involved in. I can't speak blanket. Like, I'm obsessed with politics. Eric and I are kind of sick. Like, we're a different breed of people, right? We love being in the mix, but I don't expect everyone to catch that cold. Like, I don't expect every one of y'all to be like crazy like me. I think that you've got to do what God calls you to do in the moment, which requires you to listen carefully to the Holy Spirit, discern what role you're supposed to play and who your audience is, because we want to honor the cultures that we step into. We don't go in there to throw bombs and disrupt things. That's not the way of Jesus. Our job is to go in and respect people, to honor the rooms that God puts us in, and see it as an opportunity to speak the truth in love. And so whatever that shows up as in your world, I think voting is pretty basic. Like, if you don't have time to vote, then I question everyone has time to vote. Let's just put that on the side. But praying and voting are the two main things. If you want to get involved in party politics, I just want to warn you, people in party politics are crazy. I mean, they really are. They drive me crazy. I love them and they drive me nuts. So, I say that with all love and respect for the people who devote their time and attention to do this very important party work. But it's not all roses. So go in there with your eyes wide open and make a difference. Run for office. I think that a lot of people think that I want to remove any belief system that you have to be somehow someone special to run for office. I had a college professor that wrote a book called Just Do It. And it wasn't for Nike. It was about jumping into politics. And that's what he told me when I graduated. That's what I did. I got in where I could as an intern on a campaign. And I just volunteered my time, and then God led it to other things. But just get involved to the extent that you can.
I don't think that the average citizen has any idea of the political power that they hold in their hands. I worked for a United States senator, and nothing kickstarted our office into motion more than when my boss heard something from one of his constituents at a meeting at the local coffee house, or on a visit to our office, or in a letter to our office. He would snap to it and ensure that we were using the power of our office, power which was endowed in us by them for their good. It was a sight to see. And by the way, it was really fun as a staffer to get to do those things, to help your constituents with, really hard things, finalizing international adoptions or bringing the body of a loved one home from overseas during COVID. How were they supposed to do that? We could help them do that. And you got to slap bureaucrats around to do it, which was even more fun for us to get to do. So, if I had to say, like, pick one, vote or call your congressman, I would pick call your congressman, because they're going to listen to you. And if they don't, tell all your friends so that you get a new congressman who will listen to you. That's the power that you hold in your hands. And it's true at the federal level. It is so much more true at the local level, because none of your neighbors know who your state representative is. None of them know who your city council person or your mayor is. And nobody votes in those elections. You can win a state house seat in Kansas in like suburban Kansas City with like 9,000 votes. It's crazy. It's the 11:30 service at my church, right? They could just do that. If people would only pay attention to it. It does take a little bit of time. It does take a little bit of energy. It's more than the sort of like civic colonoscopy of voting every 4 years that you need to just grit and do it because it's good for you. No, you should embrace this. And I think if you do, you'll realize that it's actually kind of fun and it makes a big difference.